Now that we're in the middle of October, it's time to switch to the latest smartphones this month. There is Apple with its new device and also several other Android smartphones that are launching on the market. So here are the October 2024 phone recommendations that you can choose from. The Vivo V40 Light 4G, which was released on September 25, 2024, specifically for Indonesia, comes with a 6.67-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels, supporting a refresh rate of 120 Hz and a peak brightness of up to 1800 nits. Powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 685 chipset, 6nm fabrication, octa-core CPU, and Adreno 610 GPU, the phone comes with 8GB of RAM and two internal storage options, namely 128GB and 256GB, which can be expanded using microSD via the hybrid SIM slot. The phone's main camera is a dual camera with a 50-megapixel wide lens and a 2-megapixel depth lens, supported by Ring LED flash, panorama, and HDR features, and 1080-pixel video recording at 30 FPS. The front camera has a resolution of 32 megapixels, wide, also capable of 1080-pixel video recording. Vivo V40 Light 4G features a 5000 mAh battery that supports 80-watt fast charging, reaching 45% in 15 minutes, and supports reverse-wired charging. This phone is available in 3 color options, namely titanium silver, carbon black, and pearl violet. Vivo V40 Light 4G price starts from $3.5 million. The Realme P2 Pro, released on September 17, 2024, has a 6.7-inch OLED display with a resolution of 1080 by 2412 pixels and a refresh rate of 120 Hz, as well as a peak brightness of up to 2000 nits. The chipset used is Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 with 8GB or 12GB of RAM and 128GB, 256GB, or 512GB of internal storage. The operating system uses Android 14 with Realme UI 5.0. For photography, the Realme P2 Pro has a dual rear camera consisting of a 50-megapixel main lens with OIS and an 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens. The front camera is a 32-megapixel resolution with 4K video recording capabilities. The 5200 mAh battery supports 80-watt fast charging, which can charge to 50% in 19 minutes and full in 49 minutes. The Realme P2 Pro is available in 2 colors, parrot green and eagle gray. The price of Realme P2 Pro starts from $4 million. The Tecno POA 6 Neo 5G has a 6.67-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 720 by 1600 pixels. The design is made of dust and splash-resistant materials with an IP54 rating. In terms of cameras, the phone has a dual rear camera with a 108-megapixel main lens and an unspecified auxiliary lens and supports 1440-pixel video recording. The front camera has a resolution of 8 megapixels. Powered by a MediaTek Dimensity 6300 chipset, 6nm fabrication, with an octa-core CPU and Mali G57 MC2 GPU, the Tecno POA 6 Neo 5G is available in 2 storage variants, namely 128GB with 6GB of RAM and 256GB with 8GB of RAM, which supports microSD cards for expansion. A 5000 mAh battery with 18 watts of charging supports daily use and comes in 3 attractive color options, namely Azure Sky, Midnight Shadow, and Aurora Cloud. Tecno POA 6 Neo 5G price starts from $2.3 million. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 14 comes with a 6.67-inch OLED display, 1080 by 2400 pixels resolution, 120 Hz refresh rate, and 2100 nits peak brightness. The slim design is 8 mm thick and weighs 190 grams and features IP64 protection for dust and splash resistance. Powered by a MediaTek Dimensity 7025 Ultra chipset, 6nm fabrication, with an octa-core CPU, the Redmi Note 14 has internal memory variants of 128GB with 6GB or 8GB of RAM and 256GB with 8GB or 12GB of RAM and uses UFS 2.2 storage technology. Camera-wise, the phone is equipped with dual rear cameras consisting of a 50-megapixel main lens with OIS and a 2-megapixel macro lens, and supports 1080 pixels at 30 FPS video recording. The front camera has a resolution of 16 megapixels. The 5110 mAh battery supports 45-watt fast charging. Other features include stereo speakers, a 3.5mm audio jack, and a fingerprint sensor on the side. Available colors are black, white, and green. The price of Xiaomi Redmi Note 14 starts from $2.3 million. The smartphone uses a 6.7-inch PLS LCD display panel with a resolution of 720 by 1600 pixels. The design is quite minimalist with dimensions of 168.8 by 78.2 by 8.8 millimeters and weighs 195 grams. In the camera department, the Samsung Galaxy F05 is equipped with dual main cameras, namely a 50-megapixel lens and autofocus, and a 2-megapixel lens as a depth sensor. The rear camera is capable of recording video up to 1080 pixels at 30 or 60 FPS. Meanwhile, the front camera has an 8-megapixel resolution with an aperture of 2.0. Powered by a MediaTek Helio G85 chipset, 12nm fabrication, octa-core processor, and Mali G52 MC2 GPU, the phone comes with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage that can be expanded using microSD-XC. The battery has a capacity of 5000 mAh and supports 25-watt fast charging. Samsung Galaxy F05 is available in twilight blue color. Xiaomi Redmi Note 14 price starts from $1.6 million.